So as well as the DJM-800 having colour effects or C effects, digital internal effects, 24-bit 96 kHz digital signal processing, having the best sound quality on the market, one of the new features that Pioneer have brought into the mixer is the fact that the mixer is 61-part Midi mappable. So in essence, you can control Midi application-based software, fire effects off your computer, launch clips, launch effects, and it can all be controlled from your Surface. This is a fantastic idea because as well as using such new facilities, you can also incorporate all the existing effects, all the colour effects, and the CDJs at the same time. You could also use that feature to control such applications as a video mixer for the DVJ range, MIDI-based hardware such as keyboards or even lighting desks. All these new features are bringing together the DJ platform under one control surface, enabling you to be far more creative when playing out. Over on my laptop, I've set up Ableton and mapped out a few tracks, a few beats, a few loops, a few effects, which can also incorporate into a set. So over onto the mixer, you can see that I've mapped over my drum track. It's really up to the user how you want to do this. I've just decided to map one drum track here onto this channel of the mixer. I've decided to add a bass line onto this side of the mixer. It's all up to you how much you want to do with it. I've merely decided to use a drum loop, a bass line, a couple of effects and a couple of samples. And I've decided to put my Q button as the launch button for the sample. So as I press go, my drum sample kicks in. You can also see that I've mapped out my EQ3 onto the EQ on the mixer itself. As I take the bass out, as I would do on a track on my CDJ, I'm now taking the bass out of my sample that's running on the computer. I've also mapped out the mid-range, mapped out the treble, so we can get complete kill. So as well as mapping the EQ out on the mixer in conjunction with Ableton, I've also mapped out my rotary pot that we used on our CFX onto an effect called Live Cut. And literally as I turn the pot, the straight effect on Live Cut will go from wet to dry back into the beat. So in conjunction with your EQ, you can get some quite nice sounds going. Now that doesn't have to be that effect, it could be reverb, it could be delay, it could be filters. It's entirely up to the user what they want to do. I've also decided to put a reverb effect onto my drum track as well. And I'm literally just going from wet to dry on my effect. So you can see, as I increase the wet to dry, you can see in Ableton that it's going from wet to dry. And it's covering the effect up in the reverb. So as I take your bass out, you can get some really nice effects going.